Good morning, Savor My Manna friends. So I have this recipe that I have for a copycat recipe of some pancakes at IHOP. So of course I added a few things, but first I want to start off with this. I made buttermilk because I didn't have any buttermilk. Instead of going to spend $3 or $4 on it, simple recipe of making buttermilk is for 1 cup of milk, you use 4.5 teaspoons of vinegar. You can use white vinegar, apple cider. I don't know whatever you want to use, but I use apple cider vinegar with the mother. I don't use white vinegar unless I'm cleaning. So I don't use white vinegar. But what I used, I needed a cup and a fourth of milk, so I used 5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Okay, I mixed that with my egg. So this is homemade buttermilk and my 1 egg. This right here is my flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. I've already sifted it, meaning I just put it all in one bowl and I mix it up like that. That's all that sifting means in my world. Okay, I have some vanilla and butter extract, and I have some melted butter. I have some sugar. Sugar makes everything better. Okay, so we're gonna start off with those ingredients, and then we're gonna get everything all whipped up and ready to go. Now this is just a test recipe. This isn't, I would say, the one I would want to call my own just yet. And what I mean by that is, if I'm going to actually use it forever, I may want to tweak it again. I also have some overripe bananas here that you can add to the batter and make banana pancakes. Like I said, this is just a smaller quantity, and we're gonna see how this all turns out, okay? So we are going to start with our dry ingredients, which we have here. Remember, flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, okay? Now we're gonna add in our wet ingredients, our buttermilk and our egg. Okay. I love IHOP. We haven't been in a long time, so I thought I'd go ahead and test this out. This is about 2.5 tablespoons of melted real butter. This is 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla and about 1/2 teaspoon of butter extract. My sugar, that's 1/4 cup of sugar. Now for your measurements for your dry ingredients, I put a cup and 1/4 of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Okay, I'm gonna start off. Now for your griddle, I have a griddle here that's already preheated to a medium-low heat, which is about 300 degrees. Probably gonna turn it up to, yeah, I want it to be at about 300. I want to see how it cooks on 300 degrees. Okay. Now to keep our pancakes from sticking, of course, we're gonna add some butter. Why not more butter? We need something. You could use cooking spray. I don't use cooking spray too often. I'm not a big fan of it. So I actually just want to see how this turns out. So I'm gonna have somebody come taste it. There's definitely people around here waiting for food. Always somebody around my house waiting for food. So now I'm gonna size these into 1/4 cup scoops. So I have my measuring cup, 1/4 cup. You're not going to turn these until they bubble and start coming up on the sides. Smells pretty good already, actually. The batter smells really good. It smells really sweet, which I personally don't like bready, like plain bready pancakes, not my style. I'm just gonna start off with 3 because I honestly want to see, because if it's not good, I can actually fix this batter. Okay, it's not bubbling fast, so I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Put it on about 350 or 325. We'll be right back. Are you able to pause? Okay, so we won't be back. So we're gonna see. We're gonna take this all the way through. You're gonna be able to see the whole process. It's starting to bubble. Can you see? Getting close. The bubbles are starting to come. Now don't, typically you should have all these ingredients in your house. You should have your flour, your salt, baking soda, baking powder if you are a normal cooker with flour. You should have sugar. We use baking soda a lot around here because we use it for our face, we use it for our teeth, we always have baking soda. I always have vanilla. Again, like I said before in a previous video, the only thing I've added to my inventory as of lately was the butter extract because I wanted to see if it really actually enhances flavor at all, or if it was just a waste of my money, or maybe I'm just not using enough. But it's just something I want to play with right now. These look pretty good. They're cooking. They're on about 325. They're not bubbling enough, so these should all get bubbles up here. Okay. Again, this is supposed to be my spin-off of, I'm gonna turn it up to 350. This is supposed to be my spin-off, or shall I say my copycat. So you can start off with a basic pancake recipe just for regular pancakes and then build from there. That's how you make it your own. So I added about 3 tablespoons, I think it was about 3 tablespoons actually, about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I used vanilla extract and I used butter extract. Okay, and I also used 1/4 cup of sugar. I don't like I said before, I'm not a big fan of pancakes that just taste like a mix with no flavor, no sweetness. I like sweetness. So we definitely have some different syrup options, and we're gonna do like a little test on the different syrup options that we have. We have 2 from the typical grocery store, and then we have 1 that's supposed to be 100 pure maple syrup. It's organic, and we're gonna try them because truthfully, we do try to eat a little bit better, eating things that are more authentic, hopefully. You see how these holes are coming up? That's how you know when it's time to turn. Okay? So I think 350 is too high, but that's okay. So remind you, I'm testing this out. Okay, so I think 350 is too high. So now I'm going to take the heat down just a little bit. And that was the point of this video, because I want to try this out. Okay, so I'm going to try some down here, and I turn the heat back down to 325. Okay, typically once you flip your pancakes over, they're pretty much almost done. Okay, so I'm going to add some more down here, and I'm going to leave the heat on about between 300 and 325. Okay, we're going to test the temperature out on that. I mean, the reason why I played with the temperature is because I added other ingredients. You got to remember, if you use butter, it's going to brown quickly. It doesn't necessarily mean it tastes burnt. It's just not as cute, or it's not as pretty as you may want your pancakes to be. But the flavor still may be there. Okay, see, these are done. Okay. Does it?
Yeah. How is it?
We have a little baby pancake right here. I don't know what this thing is doing.
Lassie?
It's a little drop.
Can I have it?
I'm gonna steal some of this butter.
Mom, can I have that baby pancake?
Let me just move some of this down here.
Mom, can I show you love this baby pancake?
He'll be back out here in a second.
He's going to sleep.
The way it smells, I think it's gonna taste good. let your nose be your help as well. That's why I'm continuing to make them, because the way they smell pretty good. Those are actually gonna run together. It's okay. So right now it's at about 325. I'm gonna let those cook.
Wow, I wanted to show.
And because you put butter on the griddle, you really don't need to add any more butter, but I will for the sake of being fat. And what you do is you stack them so they melt. Okay. Now I'm gonna have somebody taste these, and they're gonna tell me if this actually tastes burnt or not. But again, butter's gonna brown it. Okay. 325. Try to get some pretty ones, and then we're gonna taste this. Okay. And you don't want them, I guess at this point, you don't want them to cook too fast. So they're at about 325. And typically when you make pancakes, of course, you're gonna make some bacon, eggs, all that wonderful stuff. Well, I'm not making that because again, this is not technically breakfast. This is a tasting. But I guess in a real world, I would put turkey bacon with it, and I would probably scramble some eggs to go with it. Now, if it was one of those, ooh, we're so hungry breakfasts, where we probably didn't eat very much the night before, and we just kind of woke up like really hungry, I may make some hash browns or something like that. But man, we don't eat like that every day, so it would definitely be a special occasion. Okay, so these pancakes are singing to me. Look at that. I think they're singing. They're telling me to flip them. They're popping, they got bubbles. What do you think, you guys? I think that looks really good. These started on a little later. Those got like a few more, like another minute. What do you think about these? They look pretty. So I turned it down to 325, and look, it's lighter. So 350 is too high. 300 and 325 is probably the best temperature. I'm gonna scoot this one over, because anything that's conjoined together, I feel like it's one, and that means it's mine. But since this is not eating, we're just tasting. These are ready. Look at these. What do you think? I think they came out really good. Okay. Okay. These are ready to be flipped. Alrighty. I'm gonna just move these over into the butter that we already have on here, because it's already brown. So I'm gonna kind of clean the griddle with the pancakes that are already here. Alrighty. So like I told you guys before, I have really picky kids, okay? They will tell me if something is nasty. My husband will tell me if something is nasty. So please do not think that my kids are only saying it's good because I made it. They are pretty picky eaters. And they actually do like other people's food as well. So it's not like, oh, I only like my mom's cooking. They like other things as well. My son has a friend who used to live out in Tigard, and his mom makes really, really good Indian cuisine. And he loves her food. And he has another friend who lives in Sandy, and his mom makes really, really good Mexican cuisine. So my son knows, he knows how to taste things. I'm gonna take these off. So we're gonna go ahead and stop the video so we can get these plated and ready to go for my little taste testers. And then we'll come up and post another video of the mukbang. Just remember, you have your basic pancake ingredients, and then I made it my own recipe by adding about 3 tablespoons of melted butter, a half a tablespoon of vanilla, and a half a teaspoon of butter extract, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. Okay, remember, mix your wet ingredients, your dry ingredients together separately, and then combine them. Okay, because you want to make sure that your baking soda and your salt is evenly distributed all together in the flour. So I'm gonna let that melt for a few. I'll pull these off and we're gonna get these tasted. Thank you. Did you stop? Okay, thank you. And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also comment, let me know what you want me to make. Make this recipe if you think it might be good. Or if you're just dared enough to try it before I even show you what it tastes like. Anyway, have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.